What's going on, dudes and dudettes? Try to get this video done quickly because I have the fan off so you could actually hear me, and it's freaking hot in here. So yes, some pretty big news today for USC. They get a 5-star defensive lineman, so I guess he could play D-tackle or defensive end at this point, but he's a pretty talented guy coming in the class of 2022 next offseason from Georgia. His name is Mykell Williams. Like I mentioned, he's a 5-star and defensive lineman, so they're getting a lot of good talented guys within the next couple years, and the Pac-12 better be ready because it's crazy how USC was able to steal someone out of the South like that, especially when Clay Helton is still there. But gotta give him credit, was able to get that done, but also credit his coaching staff as well for getting the job done as well. And I remember that kid came last weekend with another player, another talented guy out of Georgia, and they had a lot of good things to say about USC, so hopefully he ends up joining him as well. I think he's like, Williams is a number 26 ranked kid coming out next season, so it's really good job by USC to get him. Definitely happy he's on our team now. Then pretty big news on last weekend's visits was Damani Jackson was there unofficially, but he was there for Will Johnson, one of his better friends, plays the same position, cornerback, who had committed to Michigan a few months ago, but there was a lot of talk last season that they were going to come as a package and join the one team together, and Damani Jackson actually picked USC after Johnson picked Michigan. But I think that's why Jackson was there, to try to recruit Will Johnson, his best friend, to come to USC. So I was definitely glad that happened, that he is still pushing for it, even though he has upcoming trips to Alabama, I think, and schools like that. Jackson does, so he's still helping recruit for USC, which is a good sign, so definitely happy about that. Then yes, USC did get another transfer for football, and a running back from TCU named Darwin Barlow. He was a guy that they were looking at in the 2019 class, but he decided to stay out there in Texas, and he didn't do too bad. He redshirted his first year, only played a couple games, and then his second year had like 400 some yards and a couple touchdowns as well, the amount of playing time he got. He was a 3-star guy in high school, but I don't know, it just seems like USC is getting a lot of guys who can play. They're definitely plug and play in the type of air raid offense that they're running right now. Hopefully that doesn't hurt them in the future, but now they got the correct offensive linemen for that type of system, and now they're getting the correct players, I believe. So hopefully it's a good sign coming for this season. But yeah, he's not a bad pickup, so not too shabby about that. Then yes, AD actually came out. He's pretty much saying in his exit interviews that even LeBron James wasn't 100% healthy. LeBron would never say that apparently, but yeah, I guess ever since that ankle injury, he was never back up to 100%. It's always close, but never 100%. And yeah, I get that, but still LeBron did what he did when he wasn't 100%. It's just not going to help when other guys like KCP, Caruso, THT, any of those other guys, when they get wide open shots that LeBron gave them and they're not hitting them, then it becomes a problem, especially with Schroeder not stepping up in the playoffs as well. So I definitely believe this team is going to get a big overhaul. A lot of sign-in trades where the Lakers pick up someone else, hopefully, but yes, we'll see how that goes. And yes, both Paolo Banchero and AJ Griffin, 2 freshmen coming in to Duke this offseason. Duke kind of does their little mini camps in the summer when they get some of the guys in, especially a lot of the younger guys, and see how their athleticism is and what reps they do and how good they look in practicing as well. And luckily both these guys are showing some elite athleticism according to the report, so it's kind of not that crazy. I mean, these guys are way bigger than what normal freshmen have been coming in for Duke, and a lot of other guys as well. Definitely thought these two could have just jumped to, whether it's the G League or even just sat out a whole year of basketball. Hopefully they don't decide to do that now, but yeah, they definitely have a lot of talent. They could already be probably playing in the NBA on the bench, but yeah, we'll see how this goes. Hopefully that's a good sign for Duke. Then another wide receiver coming in. I forget if he's coming in next fall in 2022 or if he's a 2023 guy, but he's a 5-star wide receiver slash, I forget if he's a safety or corner, but he's definitely one of the better elite receivers out there, coming in a couple years to college. But he officially said his visit to USC and Mykell. I saw his highlight video from Under the Radar. They do a pretty good job on YouTube of getting these high school kids highlights, but yeah, his highlight tape was insane, and I think he was only a sophomore at the time, and he looked like he could be a freshman in college. So he's definitely a guy that I'm really hoping to get, and within a couple years, some of the top guys that USC has now at wide receiver will hopefully be gone, so he can step in and not feel worried about not playing right away. So it's a good sign, and I hear has a good relationship with a lot of the coaches at USC right now as well. Then the USC safety Max Williams, who went down, I believe it was an ACL tear a couple months back. We know he's going to miss the rest of this season, I hope, but during that article it said that he's progressing very well in his rehab and is ahead of schedule. But I know that happened the year he was coming into college when he had that injury in high school. He was ahead of schedule, tried to play that freshman year, got a little bit more dinged up, was a little bit better the following year, but ended up getting hurt again just recently. So I just hope he kind of takes his time. He doesn't have to come back if he doesn't want to. It's already a medical redshirt year, so it's not going to count against him. But yes, just get healthy quickly and better, buddy. And then some last bit of USC news. So USC, the school, did say that they're going to have 100% full capacity in their stadium this next season coming up in the fall, which is good. Not really saying if anybody has to be vaccinated or not, but pretty sure everything should be fine and a lot better once August and September comes around. A lot of stuff being lifted as of next couple of days, so hopefully that works out and maybe I could head down there. Then yes, a lot of defensive ratings, like the first and second team for all NBA defensive players came out, and they're usually not the top guys who were all NBA, but they're still some of the better defensive players. And for some reason, even though the Lakers were in most of the categories at the top with a lot of their players, none of their players were on any of the defensive teams, which is pretty crazy and messed up. I mean, a couple other guys, like even Dylan Brooks from Memphis, was not on there, which is a bad snub as well. So I don't know what's happening with these defensive teams, but they need to figure that crap out. And then yes, to end on this little bit of random news, I know it's an article I saw on Instagram, which usually can't trust, but it's always a cool thing to think about, that Russell Westbrook would come back to LA in a trade. So obviously it has to be a trade. I just think it's tough because of how much money he makes, but because of the fact of guys like Kyle Kuzma and KCP, their contracts are worth more now. I think they're both around the $12 and $13 million range going into next year. And then also with a guy like Dennis Schroeder, if Washington is going to be losing a point guard, might as well just do a sign and trade, and that's about $20 million or so. So you probably just do him, one of the other guys, a couple draft picks, and never know, maybe throw in a Montrezl Harrell if he wants to go to a different team out there. Yeah, if he's cool with that, you never know. But yeah, we have to wait and see. It's a nice idea to have three big time guys like that. I know the Nets just did it. Everyone's freaking out, oh, how did the Nets, even I was at the time, but they're able to trade away their contracts to make the money match up. And then a lot of the guys they have on their bench are guys who are on cheap contracts and veteran deals, so those don't really count against the cap. I still don't understand the cap, it's very difficult, but yes, hopefully I'll be able to get a video. I got a couple guys lined up of who I want them to target in free agency, so hopefully I'll be able to figure out money wise, get more in depth excuse me, and be able to explain myself a bit easier. So yes, thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Hopefully I did not sweat too much in this video. Bye.